really the entire point of a tariff is to raise the price on something,
Sure.
right? And so Biden's making these arguments about this is going to increase our supply chain. China is cheating. Sounding a lot like Trump, honestly, talking about they're dumping their product over here. With EVs, there's concern even about like data. They're going to steal your data through the car and things like that. But she said the idea that the tariff rate prices at all had been debunked. So I actually called 3 different economists and asked them, is that true? Is that the link between tariffs and prices been debunked? And they said, no, absolutely not. The tariff, when you do a tariff, you raise a price. That's what a tariff does.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by White House reporter Haisten Willis. Haisten, President Biden had an announcement about tariffs, and he's made some statements about the economic impact of tariffs that some people have disputed. Talk a little bit about this controversy.
Yeah, Biden is going big on tariffs. Trump was the tariff guy for a long time. In 2016, he talked about tariffs. He put some tariffs on China specifically into place when he was in office. Biden was against those in the 2020 campaign, said he was going to repeal them or he was considering repealing them. He now is matching Trump and trying to exceed him in some areas. He's trying to go big on his own China tariffs, specifically on Chinese steel, aluminum, and electric vehicles. Electric vehicles, he wants to go from 25% all the way up to a 100% tariff. So if the car costs $10,000, it's now $20,000 with the tariff. And I think what you're referring to is a story I did. His trade representative, I think her name is Catherine Tai, she spoke before the White House press corps in the press briefing room and made an assertion that stood out to me. She said that she was asked about rising prices and said that the link between tariffs and prices, meaning rising prices, has been debunked. And that statement definitely caught me off guard because really the entire point of a tariff is to raise the price on something, right? And so Biden's making these arguments about this is going to increase our supply chain. China is cheating. Sounding a lot like Trump, honestly, talking about they're dumping their product over here. With EVs, there's concern even about like data. They're going to steal your data through the car and things like that. But she said the idea that the tariff rate prices at all had been debunked. So I actually called 3 different economists and asked them, is that true? Is that the link between tariffs and prices been debunked? And they said, no, absolutely not. The tariff, when you do a tariff, you raise a price. That's what a tariff does.
It would seem to defeat the purpose of the tariff if it did not.
Well, exactly. That's one of them said, right? If the car, in this case a car, was not cheaper to begin with, attractive to buy, you would not need a tariff. It was already expensive. Nobody would buy it in the first place. It is cheaper. Therefore, you do a tariff, make it less attractive to buy. So that was she was not debunked. The opposite is actually true. You raise the tariff, you do in fact raise the price on an item. So it could be worthwhile, but it is certainly going to raise prices. China actually has released a electric vehicle that you can get brand new for $10,000. Needless to say, you can't get an American EV for that price, and you cannot get a Chinese one anymore because there's now a tariff.
So this comes in the context of broader controversies about statements Biden has made about inflation, and him trying to push back against rising prices is an issue in this campaign.
Yeah, I think that's why she made that statement. She said, oh no, basically I don't think she wanted to say anything that's implying that they're raising prices. One of the economists, I should say, said, well, if she's talking about the price on the item or category of items that's being tariffed, the price is definitely going to go up. If she's talking about tariff raising prices generally, like causing inflation, that's not as strong. I mean, yes, it's going to be in there a little bit because the price of one thing is going to go up, but it's not going to make prices on like everything raise.
Right. It's not a driver of inflation per se.
Right.
And it may not raise prices in any, so all cars won't be more expensive because of the tariff.
Right. Exactly. But overall, electric vehicle prices would be higher, and you would have probably one less option realistically, again, because it's whatever the car costs, it's going to cost double under that tariff. So it's a lot. They're really wary of messaging on that, but yeah.
So we've had the big announcement that President Biden and former President Trump are actually going to debate. The two of them have agreed to it. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, what was interesting about that is this all kind of played out like on social media and stuff early on. I think it was was it Wednesday morning that happened? They were kind of going back and forth. Oh, I proposed CNN. Okay, agreed. I proposed ABC. Agreed. And then Trump said, how about we do a third one on Fox? And Biden wasn't really in favor of that.
Right.
But I think it was NBC had reported that actually, as much fun as that was to watch play out, that these talks have been in the works behind the scenes for about a month. A lot going on here because they're doing them earlier. I think both candidates have agreed to not work with the Presidential Debate Commission, which is a bipartisan group that had been used, I think, since 1988. They're scrapping that. They want to do these early because of mail-in and early and early voting. So I think what's going on behind the scenes. But they also said that talks have been going on for about a month. So it may have looked spontaneous that they were proposing these things, but they really had already worked those things out. I do think it's probably a factor that Trump is consistently ahead in the polls. Trump had been the one leading the charge. I want to do debates, and Biden was a little more cagey on that. Biden, we talked about this last week, had made these statements about, oh, don't worry about the polls, don't worry about the polls. But he's definitely, I'm sure, worried about the polls. So that may have been a factor in him saying, okay, we better actually agree to the debate because we need to do something to make up some ground here.
So the Team Trump got the debate that they wanted, or at least the fact of debates, which is something that they wanted.
Right.
Some say, though, that they didn't get particularly favorable terms for the debates. Didn't necessarily get the networks that they might have preferred, didn't get the moderators necessarily that they might have preferred, no live audience, Trump might get his mic shut off.
Sure. And I'm still hearing some people saying that they don't think the debates are going to happen. They want the appearance of the debate, and then there'll be some sort of excuse later on. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, Trump had this slogan, anytime, any place, anywhere, that he'd been rolling out for a few weeks, trying to say he would debate anywhere. And so, Biden kind of said, okay, well, let's do CNN and ABC, and then Trump agreed to it. So Trump tried to get a third one, like I said, on Fox News, presumably maybe more friendly environment to him. But what's on the books right now is the two that are more favorable to Biden.
Anytime, any place, anywhere.
That's right.
Thank you, Haisten.
All right.
You can read Haisten and the rest of our political team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.